All right, so welcome back to Ship Happens, segment where we take our Jedi Master Mage Ducky, who has shown a lot who spent a lot of time thinking about these, and I want to talk about ships, okay? And specifically, I want to talk about what do we call these? The capital ships? Is that what these are called? Yeah, the capital ships. So one of the things that you probably heard me raging about was I said the endurance is broken. I did not have Ahsoka at the time. I couldn't dispel. Right, and even then, Ahsoka could get destroyed. But I had a Geonosian soldier, right, who on his basic, he removes turn meter. And when you're buffed, which you do, Mace will apply that what is it, the damage immunity, basically? Critical hit immunity? So I was doing...
No, it's on his ultimate over his crew ability.
This one? No.
Nope, the crew ability over by his profile.
This thing right here? Yes, it was damage immunity. So he did this, okay? And whether my Ahsoka's killed or I don't have Ahsoka, doesn't matter. But I kept having GS going out of turn, and he kept stripping turn meter to the point where I thought that the endurance was broken because I literally couldn't stop attacking this one ship that was immune to all damage. What is your thoughts on Mace being broken? And, let's start there. So do you think Mace is broken with that concept right there?
No. I think people are not putting enough thought, myself included. I've been stuck in that loop where you're like, oh man, he taunted, then he did damage immunity, and now suddenly Geonosian soldier decides this is the perfect time to have my 25% chance proc all the time. And again, never outside of that. It's only ever, damage immunity plus taunt, let's go. And so he just keeps stripping turn meter, and because the enemy ship never goes, they never lose damage immunity. Meanwhile, he just keeps pounding on your ships. And so it's not so much a matter of Mace is broken, it's more a matter of if you see that you're going to be fighting a Mace Windu, you know he's going to be pulling out damage immunity turn 4, turn 5, turn 6 at the absolute latest. And so it's honestly better to either A, have Ahsoka in your starting lineup and then do your best to protect her, or B, take Soldier off of your front line, stick him as a reinforcement. It really hurts your damage output when he's your strongest ship. That's the case for me. But it's more a matter of figuring out how to get around it, not a matter of the endurance is broken.
Yeah, so it's definitely a strategy deficiency on my part of either bringing Ahsoka in when needed or keeping GS out until that's off the table. So you don't think the endurance ship is broken. I hear a lot of people talk about the Executrix being useless. Talk to me about what your thoughts are on this ship being useless and kind of where we are in the current state of the game and where the game's going and how you see these capital ships playing out.
Well, the main focus of Tarkin's ship is that ability you had right there. Is that he gives an offense bonus based on how many enemies are debuffed. That's doubled for Empire allies. It's only 2 Empire allies right now, most unfortunate. But Tarkin's ship is all about offense and it's all about debuffs, preferably target locks. So the reason why Tarkin seems fairly useless and weak right now is because we just don't have very effective means of applying target locks. You have Imperial TIE Fighter, you have First Order TIE Fighter, both of which have really good chances of applying a target lock, but they're not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
The only 3 ships in the game that are guaranteed to land a target lock are Fives, who has a ridiculously long cooldown, Biston.
Oh yeah, and Biston's got twice the gear with 2 pilots.
And doesn't offer a whole lot else other than his target lock. And then you've got Vader, who is one of the best ships in the game right now, but is gated behind a tournament. So the vast majority of people don't have access to Vader. Because of that, because as you can see there, he has unavoidable, irresistible target locks, and then his unique ability says that they don't go away, they're permanent. And so Tarkin really needs Vader in order to shine. And because most people don't have Vader, Tarkin is not seeing his full potential, and so he seems like he's useless. And he's not. He just needs more access to Vader in order to be used most effectively.
I've also always found Vader to be irresistible. Joking. So, so I just heard a lot of things come out, and something just popped into my head. Is this where you're going? Do those 3 ships, like, so let's assume someone got Vader, or eventually Vader gets farmable. You've got the TIEs going first, laying down target locks. You got Vader being an irresistible target locker. Doesn't he have an AoE that hits people who are target locked?
Yes, his crew ability. And that's similar to Fives, except Fives is, I'm going to target lock this guy, then shoot everybody. That's target lock. And so there's definitely one way to go about it would be to include Boba Fett and then Biggs. Because Biggs taunts and gets up to 35% protection recovery every time you apply a target lock. Applying a target lock counts if they already have one and you reapply it. A target lock is considered reapplied if Plo, Ahsoka, or Akbar attempts to cleanse the target lock. It will get cleansed and then be reapplied.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. And then whenever it times out after 2 turns, it gets reapplied. So once you have Vader, Biggs is almost an auto-include. Just because you're going to be putting out so many target locks. Throw in somebody like Slave 1 who has an AoE based on target locks. Have stick Fives as a reinforcement, so that when one of your TIEs or Biggs inevitably go down, you can bring him in. Now suddenly you're doing 15% increased damage per debuffed enemy thanks to Tarkin, and 20% increased damage on the missile pod attack per target that is target locked.
Wow.
So every target you hit is adding 35% total damage to the attack. And so if you have all 5 targets target locked, that's a 100,000 damage attack. Before armor, of course. But even against a tank, that's going to be 55, 60k damage on a tank.
Wow.
Squishier targets are just going to disappear.
Yeah.
And that's after they've already been hit by a Tarkin AoE, a Boba AoE. And so it's definitely something to consider, is that Tarkin is weak now because he doesn't have the proper support that he needs. Once you get Vader, I seriously recommend investing in Tarkin, investing in the other 2 TIE fighters, and really taking advantage of the fact that you've got Vader and most everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, I really wanted Vader. I was gonna go for it. I was in, I think I think I was in like 90th place the first day, and then the second day, I don't remember where. I know I placed, but then I was expecting to spend a lot on the third day, and all of a sudden the third day wasn't there. Was it always a 2-day tournament, or did they change it to a 2-day tournament in the middle of it?
I honestly don't know. I think it was. I would assume it was a 2-day event to begin with.
Okay. I was just being careless then. But yeah, I really wanted that Vader ship. I'm hoping that thing comes back or becomes farmable, because that thing is what makes Tarkin work, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Without him, you can try. You could have Biston in there for a second irresistible target lock and Boba, Fives, but they can cleanse them. The target locks are going to disappear, and Tarkin needs those target locks to stay, so that you get the increased damage. And then ships like First Order TIE Pilot, his special ability, his crew ability, is cooldown is refreshed whenever he uses it against a target locked enemy, and he gains turn meter whenever a target locked enemy is attacked.
Who was that? Was that First Order you're saying?
Yeah, on First Order. So on that right there, the turn meter gain goes up to 16.5%. Now, if you use an AoE like Tarkin and everybody's target locked, or say Boba and you've got everybody target locked, you're suddenly looking at an 82.5% turn meter gain in one attack. If you don't have an AoE, you're still looking at 82.5% turn meter gain outside of First Order TIE Pilot's turn, because of capital ship plus 4 other ships, all shooting at a target-locked ship. So that is then going to also compound with First Order TIE Pilot attacking a target-locked unit during his turn with his crew ability. Switch over. And with his crew ability, you see Strafe's cooldown is refreshed if he's targeting a target lock. Well, he gets the turn meter bonus regardless of who's attacking. It's just whenever a target locked enemy is damaged by an attack. So every turn, he's giving himself 16.5% turn meter and refreshing the cooldown on the second hardest hitting special ability in ships right now.
Yeah.
So he's a gem, honestly.
Yeah, he really is. I was ignoring him until you told me to focus on him, and now that I am focusing on him, I'm blown away with how good he is. And I don't even have Vader, but I'm blown away with how good he is. I can't wait to get some of the Vader and Tarkin synergy going on that you're describing. But I can definitely see why you get that question all the time and why people think it's broken. It's because they're not seeing the late game strategies that'll potentially evolve here.
Yes, definitely. And that's again goes back to what we're talking about in the first session with focusing on early game ships versus late game ships. Is take the time now to look at the ships that are out there. If I can say so without sounding like I'm bragging or anything, the ship analysis, the mostly objective ship-by-ship analysis, is a great tool to use for looking at a ship's abilities, look at its relative health and speed compared to everybody else's, and just kind of it breaks down every ship to analyze. Okay, where does this fit in? Should it be a reinforcement or not? Should it be in a Tarkin fleet or an Akbar fleet, or what are its synergies? And so even if you don't use that tool, look at them yourselves and figure out what kind of a fleet do you want to run, and start investing in that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's wrap this up with one final thing. With all of these strategies, we don't know what's going to be the end game, or what's going to, is this going to turn into a raid? Are we going to turn into ship tournaments? We don't know. But tell me a little bit, what are you currently investing in for ships? What do you think you want to do for your strategies? Are you going after this Tarkin late game strategy?
I don't know if I can share that proprietary information.
What?
Okay, no. Yes, I am currently planning on hoping for another Vader tournament or a Vader ship farm location somewhere. But getting Vader and then pushing a First Order TIE Pilot, Vader, Boba Fett, Fives, Biggs, underneath a Tarkin lead.
Okay.
Probably with a TIE Fighter pilot, reinforcement, Sunfac reinforcement, and I haven't come up with my third yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it takes time playing with it. I'm still trying to figure out. I just farmed Ahsoka, and it's you got to figure out what works for you. So it'll be interesting to see what evolves there. But I definitely appreciate you sharing your proprietary ship insider there.
Nah, it's not like it's that big a secret. We have 20 ships and 3 fleet commanders.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now that we have Vader.
So with the current ships we have available, there aren't a whole lot of directions you can take this. If you're going for a fleet-wide synergy build. If you're just looking for, strong solo picks, you're not going to get as far. You have a lot more options there. But if you're just looking for fleet-wide synergies, there aren't a whole lot of different options.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, man. This is Una and Mage Ducky signing out.